Just enjoying a nice Saturday morning coffee and trying to make sense of the Erik Karlsson trade. Hi, everyone, and welcome to 2-Minute Warning. Yes, I am in my front yard here. There's a bunch of birds doing things to each other, untoward things, I think. So bear with me from the audio perspective today. So we're talking about the Erik Karlsson trade. Ottawa's on fire over it. The Sens fan base is very, very upset to lose maybe the most popular player in franchise history and a two-time Norris Trophy winner. Before we talk about why this happened, let's look at the trade itself. So there it is. Karlsson goes to the San Jose Sharks. And when you have to Google the entire compensation package you get back for a two-time Norris Trophy winner, you know your fan base is going to be upset. Oh, it's a Blue Jay. Blue Jays are loud. So let's talk about why this trade happened, because I think that's the biggest question that Sens fans have. Do you want to play with the big boys or not? Why did a two-time Norris Trophy winner go somewhere else? The reality is there are reasons from both sides of the equation that this deal went down. Let's look at it from Eugene Melnyk's perspective to start. The fact is, Melnyk warned everybody at the outdoor game that this day was coming. He was not happy with the attendance. The club came within one goal of going to the Cup final, and the following year, the 25th in attendance. He was like, "Oh, you're kidding me?" So he said they'd cut things down to the bare bones, the scouting staff, front office, and the next thing to go would be player payroll. And sure enough, later that same season, you had guys like Derek Brassard being shipped out and Dion Phaneuf being shipped out as examples. And of course, the Erik Karlsson trade that went down this week. So he warned us this day was coming, like it or not. And of course, I think Eugene Melnyk simply does not want to pay that much money for one player. He's always operated under his own internal cap, regardless of what others around the NHL will do. That is, I think, maybe the biggest factor, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Erik Karlsson also has reasons that he might want to leave. For example, they're in a rebuild. Does he want to be part of a rebuild? Or does he want to go somewhere where he has a chance to win? And he certainly has that now in San Jose. I also think that Erik Karlsson is upset with the owner for the way the team has been over the last 12 months. I think he doesn't like the way Daniel Alfredsson left the organization for a second time. I think he doesn't like the way that Kyle Turris left the organization in the trade with Nashville. Even Kyle Turris throwing a little shade on the circumstances around his contractual situation with the Sens. He and Erik Karlsson are very tight, and you know that was not lost on Erik Karlsson. There's also the contract offer. The Sens claim that they offered Erik Karlsson a deal north of $10 million. Well, the fact of the matter is, if you're not getting to Drew Doughty's number, then it's a non-starter. Erik Karlsson deserves Drew Doughty money, end of story. There's also the mess that the Sens were socially over the last year, the whole Mike Hoffman girlfriend thing. Maybe he wants a fresh start somewhere else. And there's also the UFA factor. Going to the auction involving all 31 teams next July 1st, that truly is when you're going to get the most money, and Erik Karlsson has earned the right to get to that auction.
$1.42 and a half down to the hand 3. $3.43 and a half. $1.43 and a half down $3.43.
So there are plenty of reasons on both sides as to why this split occurred. I don't know exactly which ones were the biggest factors in Erik Karlsson going to the San Jose Sharks, but I'll talk about that more in just a moment. Another question Sens fans have, and I think the answer to it is no, is did the Sens make the best possible deal? I wonder about that. You look at that clause they threw in there where San Jose would have to give up a first-round draft pick if they trade Karlsson back to the Eastern Conference, as they did with Mike Hoffman. That tells me the Sens maybe only dealt in this trade with the Western Conference teams, literally cutting in half your possible trading partners. I think that's a grave error if it went down that way. And it sure looks like it probably did based on that clause in the contract. We'll never know for sure, of course, but it has all the earmarks of a team that decided to only do business for Erik Karlsson with half the league, and I think that's a mistake. If you're to press me for the biggest reason why Erik Karlsson is a San Jose Shark today, it's because of the stubbornness of ownership to do things their way or the highway. And I think the thought process was, I'm not paying that kind of money and term to one guy. Sorry, especially if we're not selling games and I'm not happy with the current revenue stream. The Karlsson trade was an absolute PR disaster, and when you're thinking about that PR disaster, I'd ask myself the question, if I'm ownership, did I just cost myself more money by trading away this player and the PR disaster that followed? People saying things like, I'm never spending any more money on this team again. Was this a more expensive venture than actually retaining the player? I'm going to go wrestle this Blue Jay up in the tree to the ground because he's making noise through this entire process. But I'd love to know what you think about the Erik Karlsson trade. Please leave your comments down below. We'd love if you could subscribe as well. The more subscribers you have, the more inspiration you have to do more of these types of hockey videos. Have a great day, and thanks for joining us on 2 Minute Warning.